Gout walked into a stadium of 10,000 people and lost. The enemy was on the stage. The crowd went home chatting of some other. It took him months to accept the loss. Then, on April 12, 2026, Gout Gout was back on a track running 19.67 seconds, quicker than Usain Bolt ever ran as a teenager. The comeback was expected. Gout Gout was born on 29 December 2007 in Ipswich, Queensland. His parents, Bona and Monica, fled South Sudan's civil strife. First, they ran to Egypt. Then in 2005, they came to Australia. 2 years prior to Gout's birth, he grew up 40 kilometers from Brisbane in an area that had nothing to do with running and was one of 7 children. He played football as a kid. He hadn't planned on a track. Then, in his first year at Ipswich Grammar School in 2020, things changed at a school sports event. He'd never had spikes before. He never had any lessons. He started to run at once. And every coach on the field halted what they are doing. It was the day Coach Diane Shepherd picked him up. She grabbed him aside and told him something he would never heard before. "He might have been good," she replied. One sentence altered the course of his life. At 14, Gout ran 10.57 in the 100 meters and 21.14 in the 200 meters. Both were Australian under-16 records. He was quick for a boy, quicker than quick. He was quick historically. He clocked 200 meters in 24 seconds as a 16-year-old. That record was set by Peter Norman at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City and stood for 56 years. Bolt saw the video and went to Instagram and typed 4 words, "Gout looks like young me." Before he even graduated from high school, he signed with Adidas. Professional contract, 16 years old. The whole world was watching everyone. And then there came the night that did for it. Kennedy, the rival who had earned his right, March 2025. Melbourne, Lakeside Stadium. 10,000 tickets sold, first sellout at Australian one-day track and field meet since 2001. More than 1.2 million people watched on TV. It was the Maury plant meet, and the reason everyone was there was Gout. He wore a red Adidas tracksuit. The crowd went nuts. It was his first 200-meter event at senior level, 17 years old. Lachlan Kennedy had other ideas. Kennedy is 4 years older than Gout, born and raised in Queensland. Only 9 days earlier, he had claimed silver over 60 meters at the World Indoor Championships in Nanjing. His best 200 meters was 21.19 seconds. No one expected him to win, but he did. Kennedy went off like a shot. He smashed the curve. He got a big lead, and he was not going to give it up. He obliterated his previous personal best by more than 1 second flat, clocking the 7th fastest 200 meters ever ran in Australia with his time of 20.26 seconds. Gout was back at 23:30 400 squawk, 04 shoe width. "I knew he was coming," Kennedy remarked after the race. "I just wanted to get him off my back, 5 more meters, and he would have had me." Gout stepped over and hugged Kennedy. He did not complain. "That's what you live for," he said to reporters. "The noise, the people, the force, this setup. That is sport, but something inside had changed. Gout, training to terrify the experts. The next step is where the coaches get anxious." Gout was not exercising in the gym and lifting heavy weights. He didn't change everything he did. He went back to Diane Shepherd more eager. That is the portion the specialists do not quite know how to explain. Gout is 1.83 meters in height and weighs 66 kilograms. He weighs less than almost every other competitive sprinter on Earth. No heavy gym work. He's strong, not physically but technically. His step length is 2.62 meters every step. That is longer than Bolt's stride length when he was at his best. Each stride, he spends an abnormally little time on the track with his foot. Biomechanists have studied his race tape and claim his neuromuscular coordination is that of a 25-year-old pro, not a high school student. His Achilles tendons are springs, storing energy, releasing energy. It's maybe the fastest we've ever timed an athlete his age, analysts remark. Shepherd's training program is not your usual training program. No lifting, just core stability. Sprint drills, block starts, reaction drills, mobility, programmed rest. His pace accelerates by itself, and she covers him with her body. Gout raced a perfect 10.0 seconds for the 100 m at Brisbane's lowly Danebird Smith Shield Club competition in February 2026. No cameras, no fuss, just a Saturday morning run at the fastest ever legally recorded 100 meters by an Australian male on Australian soil. And he did it weeks ahead of the big event. Kennedy preserving his gains. Kennedy did not back down after Melbourne either. He kicked up 2026 with a 2046 win in the Hobart Track Classic. His personal best over 100 meter is 9.98 seconds, one of only a few Australians ever to run sub 10 seconds legally. His time of 6.43 seconds for 60 meters is the Australian best. He was named in the Australian 4x100-meter relay team for the 2024 Paris Olympics. "I feel like I can defend my title," Kennedy said reporters in the build-up to the rematch, and he had reason to think so. He would have beat Gout much quicker. He knew what he was about, he had numbers, the battle-hardened veteran sprinter was ready. What he had not counted on was the gout that had made its appearance. Gout, 19.67 seconds that stunned the globe, Sydney Olympic Park Athletics Centre, 12 April 2026. No, the Australian Athletics Championships, not the juniors. The older one against mature men. Before the race, Gout wrote just one number in his notebook, 19.75 seconds, and he said it to himself every day for a week. He went away well, was a bit quiet on acceleration, and then just opened right up down the straight. One of Australia's best young sprinters, Aidan Murphy, drove him around the corner. Great run. He clocked 19.88 CKSE in under 20 seconds. What a hell of a race. Gout 19.67 seconds. He slapped the tape, looked up at the clock, and the stadium exploded. The analyst said, "The planet is about to tremble." It is earth-shaking. It beat the under 20 world record of 19.69 seconds set in 2022 by the American Ariane Knighton when he was also 20 years old. That was 2,600s quicker than Usain Bolt's best teenage time at 19.93 seconds. That was the time Bolt ran in 2004, and he never ran faster as a teen. Gout ran 1967. That would have been good for a bronze medal at the Paris Olympics 2024. Gout stepped over the line and told the reporters exactly what he had written in his notes. "I wrote down 1975, and I've spent the last week telling myself I'm racing 1975, he added. And of course, 1967. You have got to love it. Eight-time world champion and Olympic 100 meters gold medalist Noah Lyles had remarked before the contest that Gout was better than him at the same age. Not for a day. Today, and from Geneva in Switzerland, Usain Bolt gave the teenager the benefit of all his experience. Bolt told CNN, "I was there myself at that age. And you are pulled in all directions and you forget about track and field." Hopefully he's got the right people around him, because if you lose the sport, you lose everything else. Gout heard the rattle. He heard the naysayers asking him if he was pleased in Sydney. 6 days later, he answered all of them by winning the 100 meters final at the Brisbane Junior Championships in front of his local crowd. "There's always going to be critics," he remarked. "If you have detractors, you're on the correct path." Kennedy had the meeting at Melbourne. Gout was the big winner. He crossed the line in 19.67, set a world's record, and sent a message to every competitor, every skeptic, every runner on the planet. The finest thing about Gout was not that he ran 200 meters in 19.67 seconds. How he reacted after losing in front of the whole country. Prosperity is easy to be admired, but it is the struggle that shows the character of a man. He believes you should learn from failure, not fear it. Let's stop wasting time blaming young people for a mistake and spend more time acknowledging how they have changed as a group. Talent and humility, resilience, and the appropriate support make more than champions. It's a model for the future generation to emulate in producing great things.